Hi, I'm Dr. Carla, and this short video is going to give you stretches for your legs. So we're going to look at this full 360-degree stretch, which will be on the back of the leg, the hamstring and the calves. We're going to take it to the side, the IT band. We're going to take it to the top, which are your quads, and then we're going to take it to the groin. So just 4 simple stretches, but then you should get a full leg release. And if the legs are tight, that's when you can introduce huge problems into your hips and your back. So let's start with the back of the legs. It's great if you can do this by a wall. Equipment wise would be a band or some kind of belt and a cushion, or if you have something like a yoga soft block. So the backs of the legs, if you're not particularly flexible and you don't sit on the floor a lot, I would advise that you come to a wall. Even if you are flexible, it can be great to come to a wall anyway, just so that you can nestle your bottom into the corner of that wall. And you can do this against a sofa, you can watch TV, and I'm simply sitting in that right angle. And this can be a challenge for some of you. If you find that you come into this position and your knees are off the floor, if you need a little bit of support, you can put a cushion there. Otherwise, the aim is just to start flattening those knees down to the floor, sitting up nice and tall and breathing. If you find that you don't feel a stretch there at all, the next step would simply be to fold forward without activating into the legs at all. So wherever you can get to, it's always good to have something on the forehead. So I always use my thumbs and just breathing here, and you can just slowly come further forward. Maybe you can come lower, maybe you can use a cushion under your head, but I'm not forcing it. I'm letting gravity and the weight of my body very gently stretch the back of my body from the soles of my feet all the way up the backs of the legs, and you might even start to feel it in your lower back and your hips. Big breaths once you're here, and again holding for about 1 or 2 minutes like we did with the back stretches and hip stretches if you've watched that video. So that's the back of your legs, but really it's the entire back body being stretched there. The groin would be really simple from here, because you would just take the legs wide and go again as wide as you can. And you're just looking to go as wide as you can so that you feel some kind of stretch in that groin. Because if you've got a tight groin, it can start pulling into that lower belly, it can start pulling into the knee joint. So just looking for whatever stretch you can enjoy here. Remembering to breathe. So that's the backs of the legs and the inside of those legs. Let's look at the IT band on the outside. We briefly covered this with the twist. Taking a strap, and the important thing to remember here is to keep the legs super straight. So getting comfortable on your backs and just hooking a strap or a belt or whatever you have around a foot. And I'm going to keep my leg as straight as I can. So if that means that your strap is down here, that's absolutely fine. It's better that you're down here with a straight leg than up here with a bent leg, because you're not going to get that IT band stretch. So from here, keeping the legs super straight and heavy, you're simply going to bring that foot over. Now your IT band is a huge tendon and it inserts into your knee. It goes all the way up the side of the leg, and it then forms into your glute, your butt cheek, and it goes into the front of the hip. IT bands get tight if you cycle, if you run, if you're pretty active. So here, my leg is heavy as I can get it. My hip is heavy, and I can feel a big stretch across this leg. Everyone's going to feel it differently, but this is a really useful stretch, and it's not something that we do. If you have a go at this and you find you're not feeling anything, please send me a message. I can have a look at you on a video if you video it and send it to me, and we can work with that. So this is the outside of the leg, and particularly all around the hip. It's a really gorgeous stretch. So doing that on each side. And then let's finish off with the fronts of these legs. So for this one, you will need a cushion or something for your knees for when we do a wall version. Before we get to the wall version, I'll show you the mat version for those of you who aren't quite as flexible. So option 1 would be to lay down on your bellies and reach back for the ankle and stretch here. If you can't reach your ankle, again use a belt and strap it around. You might find that your knee goes really wide when you grab that foot. If so, bring it back to center. I don't flex my toes to the ceiling, I flex them back. So that locks my knee joint and keeps it really safe. Once you're here, squeeze in your bum, pushing your hips down and really lengthen that knee away from you, and you're trying to find a stretch all the way up the front of this thigh. So that is a gentler option. If you want the super quad stretch, then pop in a cushion against the wall, because you're going to bring that knee flush against the wall and the shin. You can see my toes are pointing up. That won't stretch very much, but as soon as you come onto the other foot, you might start to feel a big stretch in the front of this thigh that's against the wall. You can have your hands on a chair, you can have it on blocks, or if you can, you bring yourself up. Squeeze your bum forward and breathe, and that is a huge stretch, so please be careful with this one, it's very intense. As always, at least 1 minute. If you can do 3, 4, 5 minutes, brilliant. So that completes our leg cycle. So hopefully by the end of that, you'll feel a little looser. Backs of the legs, sides, groin and fronts. Combine that with the back stretch video and you are really going to help to loosen that whole body and hopefully decrease some tightness and pain. Thank you for watching.